Hello everyone, welcome to Pure Weather's Tropical Bulletin for November 25th, 2020. The hurricane season, the 2020 hurricane season is about to come to an end, but that doesn't mean that there's not going to be any extra tropical activity coming up after the end of hurricane season. We actually have a few things to watch in the tropics right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at this right now, which is our 5-day graphical tropical weather outlook, thanks courtesy to the National Hurricane Center. As you can see, we currently have two areas of interest right now, or AOIs. Let's go ahead and take a read on those right now and what the National Hurricane Center has. Alright, so for the first one, the one that you see the X on, that would be a frontal low pressure system is located several hundred miles east to southeast of Bermuda. The low is forecast to interact with an upper level trough tonight and could slowly acquire some subtropical characteristics during the next day or two while it drifts south-southwestward. I butchered that. South-southwestward. There you go. Environmental conditions are expected to become unfavorable for further development by the weekend. And the National Hurricane Center currently has formation chance through 48 hours at low 10%, and the formation chance through 5 days at a low 10%. Now you can see that little circle of yellow up here near Portugal in that area, or, kind of north of Africa there. The National Hurricane Center has a non-tropical area of low pressure is expected to form over the far eastern Atlantic during the weekend. This system could gradually gain subtropical characteristics while it moves slowly southward through early next week. The formation chance through 48 hours is low, near zero, and the formation chance through 5 days is a low 20%, meaning that the National Hurricane Center has given this one a higher chance of developing than this one down here. Now, if you're curious as to what these systems currently look like in the Atlantic, let's go ahead and take a look at our satellite right now. Alright, so this area up here, this long banana-shaped thing, is our frontal system. So that means that down here, the AOI, which is down here, is attached to this long band, which is a cold front or warm front kind of mix together. And the only way that this can actually form is if it detaches itself from the frontal system, which isn't going to be that likely given the amount of time it has left before encountering some really heavy wind shear out in this area. Now over here, this area over here, you can see it's really circulating. You can see a little bit of a low-level circulation center going on, or starting to form there. That's why the NHC has it at 20%, because you can see it starting to get its act together a little bit. But we're currently heading into the D minimum right now, which is where convection is waning to its minimum, and then it will stay that way until the D maximum in the morning time during sunrise, when it starts and explodes into its maximum convection, which is when you will see the reds and the blacks and the whites shoot up from the interior area here, which will cause more of it to develop. I'm wondering if the National Hurricane Center will keep the chances the same for this one, or upgrade them in the next tropical weather outlook, which will be at midnight Central Time. Alright, now if you're wondering about this area down here, sort of the southwestern area, that's tropical wave. We don't think that's going to develop because of the wind shear. And because this is our storm formation probabilities. You can see we have every area of blue. That is where the storms could form. That is where it's favorable for storm formation. Now look, if you notice something here, there is barely any blue at all in the Atlantic, because the Atlantic basin is pretty much covered in wind shear everywhere. So it would be a miracle if those two systems up here and here would be forming right now. Now that tropical wave I was showing you earlier, this one right there, That is in this blue area. All right, next to Africa, that little blue area. So we could see some tiny development there, maybe a name storm if we're real pushing it. But I don't think so. I don't think so. Let's take a look at the maximum potential energy for any storms that do develop. All right, you can see if we take a look at the minimum central pressure, we have this area, the tropical wave coming out here. The maximum potential energy or minimum central pressure right now in millibars is in the 880s, which is where Wilma was, which I don't think is going to happen. All right, and you can see everywhere that is blue on this map is pressure that can support a Category 5 hurricane. Now let's take a look at the maximum wind potential for a tropical cyclone. Everywhere that you see is blue, that's a Category 5 hurricane. Everywhere that you see is purple, that's a Category 4 hurricane. And then everywhere that you see is pink or higher is major. So the fact that we still have that right now in late November, early December, means that if this wind shear can die off, if this wind shear will die off, we could see some real issues. We could see some real issues. Okay, now, as we know, earlier in the week, or last week, we had a Category 5 hurricane named Iota. And then earlier, 2 weeks before that, we had a Category 4 hurricane named Eta smash through Nicaragua and Honduras, leaving what we see here, total devastation, 2 weeks apart from each other. Now, as you can see, it is totally devastated. You can see people carrying debris through floodwaters. You can see this area over here, like a trailer park or something, decimated by high winds. And this picture down here in the bottom, that is debris carried by floods. Now, this is why we tell you not to go into floodwater, because if you do, then you can see that all of that stuff is moving at a high speed that will knock you off your feet and possibly drown. That is why we do not do these things. Now, it's very tragic to look at these photos because these are areas that have been hit by 2 major hurricanes in the span of 2 weeks. And the landfall points were only 12 miles away from each other. Absolutely tragic, and my heart goes out to these people. Alright, guys. Thank you so much for watching this Tropical Weather Bulletin. It's a bit short today because we don't really have that much to talk about because, I can't believe I'm saying this, but for the first time in what seems like 2 months, the tropics are pretty much dead right now, and there's nothing really to watch until those AOIs form, and there's not a big threat that is occurring right now. So we'd like to say thank you for watching, and we hope you have an epic Thanksgiving tomorrow. And also, if you like weather-related content like this, please don't hesitate to subscribe and hit the like button too. So thank you for watching, and also join our Discord, link in the description. Woo! Thank you for watching.